And the big game buzz is back in South Florida. Tonight, a rivalry reawakens. The undefeated Miami Hurricanes, the 7-1 Virginia Tech Hokies collide and expect hard knocks inside Hard Rock Stadium. Welcome to Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart and tonight's ACC matchup between Virginia Tech and Miami, a Coastal Division showdown. And welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor will join us. The backdrop, another eventful Saturday afternoon of scores. Look at this score. Iowa just blasting Ohio State. Michigan State, a late field goal to beat Penn State. And Clemson hangs on to win at NC State.
This was that weekend back in August that we said, oh, look at November 4th. What a weekend that's going to be. And it lived up to it. Incredible games from the very beginning slate at noon Eastern all the way through the 3:30 games were incredible. Iowa, this maybe the story of the day, what they were able to do. And, of course, Clemson holding on once again against the Wolfpack to keep their hopes alive.
Cowboys and Sooners still swinging away in Bedlam. We'll keep you posted on that one. In the ACC Coastal, nothing can be clinched tonight. The Hurricanes, the Hokies, and the Cavaliers of Virginia all control their destiny. Miami begins a two-game swing. Notre Dame comes in here a week from tonight. We'll also have that game for you on ABC. The Canes, Kirk, have the nation's longest winning streak, but they still have a lot of skeptics because they're just sneaking by.
But they're winning.
Yes.
And I think a big part of winning is the defense that they've been able to play with this year. Manny Diaz, their defensive coordinator, has created a lot of buzz and excitement. We've talked a lot about the chain. When they get a turnover, you'll maybe see it tonight. But it's been an attitude to me. It's been getting a group of guys that buy into a scheme and love football. And while the chain gets a lot of credit and a lot of recognition, in the past, they've had a little bit too much swag in the last 6-7 years. I think it's more about actually understanding your assignment and playing hard and loving each other. We've seen that, and tonight might be one of their biggest tests, not just because of Virginia Tech, because of what's at stake. And with Notre Dame next week, they need to be focused tonight.
13 different Canes have had that turnover chain. You love that, don't you?
I do.
Got
it's
a special
fun.
surprise for you.
Oh.
Here. This is the actual chain. And because you've cleaned up so many fumbles of mine over the years, here you have. Give you the first turnover chain tonight.
That.
Justin Fuente
nice.
told his quarterback, Josh Jackson, I don't want to see that chain out here tonight. It's heavy, isn't it, by the way?
Yeah, it is very heavy. Josh Jackson's going to have to make good decisions. You know, their offense is somewhat limited with what they can do. So I think tonight it's about the basics. It's being able to go out, little things like the jet sweep, trying to stay on schedule. Savoy is a quick receiver that they can get to the outside. Listen, Miami's going to play a ton of man-to-man. Can Savoy and Cam Phillips, can they get separation? And this might be the biggest key at all tonight for the freshman quarterback. When Miami plays man on third down especially, he's got to recognize that when there's a spot to take off and run, and he's got to be able to capitalize on that. So I'm not biased at all. Chris put this on me. I'm just looking forward to a great football game.
Does not mean he supports the year. We just like that chain. Here's the thing. You expect a close defensive game, points in a premium. Both teams have some fierce pass rushes, and the guy protecting the blind side of Josh Jackson, by the way, is brand new tonight. Nijman is out, so you've got a new left tackle. We'll talk about that as
another reason to get that ball out pretty quickly.
Miami with its longest winning streak since 2002, the longest in the country at 12. Let's go to Maria Taylor with Mark Ricks.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Coach, your team has expressed that they want to prove that the U is back this season. How did you express the significance of this game before taking the field?
We can just look around, you can listen. The crowd's ready, our students are ready, our team's ready. We're excited.
You know what to expect from a Bud Foster defense. What do you have to see from your offense early to know that they'll click efficiently?
We just got to execute, that's for sure. And I see you're ready, wearing all black too. Good job.
Thanks, Coach.
Mark Rick appreciates your Georgia roots, Maria. Well, he's been brilliant. He's got an approval rating in this town of about 99.4%.
What are the .6 doing?
They're worried about a few play calls.
Okay.
He takes over.
I guess everybody has a .6.
Michael Badgley to kick it off. Trayvon McMillan, Hokies running back. He's back to receive the kickoff. This crowd's waited for a moment like this. McMillan in the end zone will leave it there. Josh Jackson is having the best freshman season of any FBS quarterback.
Yeah, he has done an amazing job this year. Coach's son, we've talked about that all year, 6'1", 215 pounds. And here's just some of the things he needs to do. Explosive plays in the passing game against man-to-man, using his feet against that man pressure that he'll see, especially on third down. And the big thing that he's done such a great job of, Chris, you mentioned it in the open, just taking care of the football. Only 4 interceptions on the year, and this offense has only turned it over 6 on the year as well. So a punt is a good thing tonight against this Miami defense.
And Sean Savoy, the freshman, motioning back in, but they feed McMillan. He's got a crease, and Trayvon McMillan, a quick burst across the 35. The Hurricanes have given up a fair number of big chunk runs this year.
You're right. They're 91st in the country as far as carries of over 20 yards or more. They've allowed 14, so that's an area you want to try to attack.
McMillan cuts it back, a hard hit after a 2-yard gain. Stephen Peoples, the junior back, is out of this game, so we figured to see McMillan and Deshaun McLeese share the carries.
And McMillan, a junior who's played a lot of football in Blacksburg. McLeese a little bit quicker when number 33 gets in there. He had a good game last week.
McMillan has to dodge a man in the backfield, fights to get near the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long now for Jackson.
See, this is what Miami does with Manny Diaz. A lot of slanting and a lot of angling from the defense. You got a lineman trying to pull around, but watch all the traffic because of the slanting and angling. They get into the backfield, and Virginia Tech fortunate to not have a big loss there. Good vision by the back, McMillan.
This crowd is noisy. It'll never be like the old Orange Bowl, but it is rowdy. There's a lofted throw on 3rd down, out of bounds. No chance to make a play. Looking for his man on the far side, Cam Phillips of Michael Jackson was defending. Here comes the punt. Both punters have done extremely well. You got 2 freshman punters, and their role could be very prominent. The Aussie, Oscar Bradburn, off to a terrific start. Braxton Berrios is the slot receiver for Miami. He can be a dangerous returner. Comes up, makes the fair catch at the 22-yard line. So now we're going to see Malik Rozier, Kirk, and it's very interesting how similar the stats are for these two guys. Jackson, better completion percentage, but TD INTs, very,
very similar. Yeah, especially for being young guys. One thing that Rozier has done is he's found ways to win games. Maybe played his best football in the 4th quarter. He's 8-0 right now as a starter. Had a 1 start a couple years ago, filling in for Brad Kaya. The big thing with him, the coaches are waiting to see him take that next step as a young quarterback. Consistency with his accuracy, making better throws more consistently. And against this defense of Bud Foster, he better. If not, he'll throw the ball right into the arms of the Hokies secondary.
Running game has been a problem. Miami making do without its best offensive player, Mark Walton, out for the season. On the end around, it's Berrios. And a little crafty slot receiver picks his way behind some blocks for a nice 1st down gain.
Well, he's had a great senior year. A guy that has worked incredibly hard at his craft. Coach is telling us that he's one of those guys, he'll study film. He's in the weight room. He's just doing something to try to get better, and it's really paid off for him in his last go-round here for the Hurricanes.
Maintaining a 4.0 as well.
Yeah, doing it all.
So Berrios with the run gains 8. They'll have to look for ways to manufacture rushing yards, won't they? That includes the occasional run by Rozier. Hokies crowding the line. It's a reverse. Berrios looks to throw it, and the quarterback's wide open, and Rozier makes a catch out near midfield. So Berrios involved in various ways early.
So much for him potentially being hurt. Second play of the game. They're going to get the ball to the quarterback, and nobody picks him up. Man-to-man from Virginia Tech. Linebackers let the quarterback slip out. Alexander comes over late, but a little razzle-dazzle with the play calling here from Mark Richt early.
You fake it to Travis Homer. Rozier takes a hit and misfires. It was over the head of Amon Richards, the speedy receiver. Ricky Walker got there in a hurry, hit him.
Well, that's the biggest concern that this offense has, is dealing with the quickness inside of this defensive line. He just rips through there, and the combination of Tim Settle and Ricky Walker, you could really make an argument. You could look around the entire country as a tandem on the inside, maybe as good as you'll find. And Bud Foster takes full advantage of that, turning him loose and having him shoot through gaps quite often.
2nd and 20. Empty backfield, under pressure again. Rozier steps up, delivers over the middle, going up high and making the catches. Berrios against Terrell Edmonds, the fine safety.
Well, there's going to be a nice hole right here behind the linebackers. Look how he settles in, and look at the window right there in the back end between the safeties, behind the linebackers. Rozier that time throwing in rhythm, 2nd and forever. And with a too-high safety look, the weakness is in the middle of the field, but it requires a throw with a lot of velocity.
It's a 1st down throw over the middle, incomplete. Trying to get it across to Chris Herndon, the tight end.
Well, Miami, even though they're playing with a younger quarterback as far as game experience coming in, they have become a team, especially with the injury to Walton, where they rely on the big play. They rely on the explosive play in the pass game. They've not been able to be a team that can consistently run the ball. And so they've had to turn to Rozier in the passing game, and it's been hit or miss. It's either a poorly thrown ball or a bad decision, or they hit a home run. And that's what Virginia Tech is trying to take away, those explosives, to try to make them earn it tonight.
2nd and 10. It's a quarterback keeper. Rozier's got some grass. He's got a downfield block. Scoots all the way into the end zone. Now they'll spot him out short. They'll spot him out short, but Braxton Berrios, just to add to his start, threw an unbelievable downfield block.
Unbelievable. He's doing it all. Watch the block. Speaking of doing it all, it's a good effort. Looks like he steps out of bounds and he's out. They're going to go hurry up, try to catch Virginia Tech off guard here.
36-yard scamper. DJ Dallas, the true freshman backup tailback, stopped short of the goal line.
Watch Trevor Darling, the left guard. Watch how he gets around his man up front and then works up to the linebacker. That's really what helped there. And then the block, as you mentioned, by Berrios, a couple blocks. These receivers, it's probably emphasized here to block as a receiver more here than anywhere else. Berrios, Jeff Thomas, great effort downfield by the Miami receivers.
He just planted Luke Reynolds, the safety on his back. 2nd and goal. Rozier lobs it for the end zone. It's a wrestling match, and there is no flag. That is for Langham, defended by Adonis Alexander.
That's a physical matchup. Langham at 6'4", 220, and he's going up against Alexander, who's a big corner at 6'3", 197. This has been a trouble area for them all year in the red zone. 101st as far as touchdowns in the red zone. In fact, the last couple of weeks, it's been a trouble spot.
They're one of the worst in the country at goal-to-go touchdown scoring. DJ Dallas in the game, I formation on 3rd down. Get the pitch, looks to cut it back, throws it to Rozier off his fingertips. Bearing down on him was Brandon Face on the corner, and it's 4th down.
Virginia Tech selling out to take away that running game, and they got to him quick enough that the play did not really have a chance to be able to. He couldn't wait. Dallas could not wait to allow the play to really be able to develop, and that he had to throw the ball before he was going to get sacked.
Richt has decided to go for it here. 2 yards away on 4th down. Travis Homer in the game. Toss sweep. Stopped in the backfield. Mook Reynolds made the tackle. The Hokies make a stand. Miami moves 76 yards, but comes up empty.
Mook Reynolds is an undersized outside linebacker, but because of his quickness, he's able to get in the position to make the play before anybody can make a block on him. The guard is too slow to get out there. The fullback is a little bit too slow, and Virginia Tech holds Miami out.
Hokies after the stand take over at the 5. Miami had 1st and goal at the 2. 4 plays, lost a total of 3 yards. McMillan, tough sledding in the middle of that Miami defensive front.
You and I talking at the break there. A little bit surprised that Mark Richt decided at 1st and goal at the 2, the fade, trickery, end up the toss sweep on 4th down. Just a decision to go for it. Points may be a premium in this game. But then again, maybe the confidence that he has, even if he doesn't make it in his own defense, of being able to get a stop here and get the ball back near midfield. Maybe that was his thought process there.
Yeah, that's a key point. That's an extra point distance field goal. Badgley's automatic. But a little bit of a gamble. It didn't work. And now Jackson trying to scramble free. He's chased, but he's going to slide down right near the marker. He's right near the 15. I think they'll spot him just short.
Just athletic enough. You know, he's not a guy that's just going to take off and go 20, 30, 40 yards. He's a guy that's just, look at the pressure. Look at the linebacker, Quarterman right there, little stiff arm, pulls away, and then that's what we talked about in the open. He needs to use his legs tonight to give himself a chance for positive yards.
We need a yard on third down.
Well, they see that pressure now from Miami. Manny Diaz maybe trying to adjust that, but Pinckney and Quarterman showing blitz. Virginia Tech making a check because of it.
Keeper. And first down as Jackson dives across the 20. He's run for 17 first downs this season so far.
And he's going to have to do more of that tonight. Really good execution up front. They did a nice job by Braxton Pfaff pulling around, leading the way there. The freshman tight end Dalton Keene also picked up a nice block there, and plenty of room for him to be able to pick up that first down and get out of being deep in their own territory.
McMillan, a little burst. Knocked down by Jaquan Johnson after about 7 yards.
Because of Miami's tendency to give up some explosive plays on the ground, they've come in tonight early in this game, crowding the line of scrimmage on early downs, trying to get people to shoot a gap and get penetration. And then when they get Jackson to third down, that's where we've seen Manny Diaz crank up the exotics, that time bringing Amari Carter. They're going to have to continue to do that. Works out so far.
Jackson the throw and a catch for a short gain by Sean Savoy, the true freshman receiver who's come on strong. And they will move the sticks. First down.
Yeah, just pitch and catch. Soft corner. These quarterbacks today, when they see soft corners, so many RPOs, run pass options, that they'll abort the run play and just throw it out there and take the easy throw.
Now it's Savoy in motion. He takes the handoff. He's speedy. The Canes able to corral him on the sidelines after a 6-yard gain. Zach McLeod, the linebacker, was there.
And they'll run this play all night. You'll probably see that play 5 to 7 times, and it just keeps the defense honest, trying to outflank them. You'll see a corner flash right there. That's Michael Jackson. He's picked up by the freshman Keene. And because that corner got upfield, Savoy, good vision, gets underneath the block by Keene and gets positive yards.
Team of age in the loss to Clemson, scored a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in that showdown game.
He's really getting better as the year goes on.
He's had to.
Yeah.
An offense that needs a spark. Final minute of the first quarter.
Got that push in again there on the slot receiver.
McLeese, nothing doing. Knocked down. It'll be third down. They waited a long time to get the play set there.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you're hurrying and the defense is able to jump the snap. And now the offensive line is caught a little bit off balance. And they're fortunate they didn't lose more yards than they did. Gives them a chance here on third down.
Clock ticking down.
Now Miami tightens up that coverage instead of giving them that cushion. Here comes the blitz by Bandy. And see, this is what Jackson's looking at right here.
They will let the clock expire. And the second quarter will begin with this 3rd and 4 play. Scoreless in Miami, about what we expected. The end of one. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Miami yardage edge in the first quarter of 102-52. They had the only threatening drive, but were stopped as Rick gambled and lost on 4th and goal from the 2. Hokies face 3rd and 4 here.
You're going to get a lot of man here. This is where they're going to go with a bunch. Try maybe a quick slant from your outside receiver up the top.
Instead, Jackson looks that way, but takes off and is stopped short of the first down. That's a nice tackle by Shaq Quarterman, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, the defensive line ate up all the offensive linemen, and it freed up the linebacker Quarterman to be able to make the play. He just does a very good job of trusting his instincts. Very instinctive middle linebacker. Played last year, obviously, as a true freshman, along with Pinckney and McLeod.
Those guys were thrown into the fire as true freshmen last year, and they took their lumps and they had to grow up. But they are a terrific core now as sophomores. Bradburn, high spinning punt, fair caught by Berrios at the 13-yard line. Miami backed up again, field position, a problem for both offenses. They tend to be pretty conservative when backed up in these situations.
Travis Homer doesn't have a carry yet tonight.
Right there, that's a surprise. He's to the right of the quarterback. They fake it to him and now throw it across the middle of Herndon, the tight end, as a first down across the 30. He's a talented senior.
Just a little bit of a play fake. Freezes both the linebackers. In fact, they kind of step up a little bit, and that's what allows Rozier to be able to dump it over the top to the big tight end, who's a great target.
And a downfield shot on first down. Jeff Thomas just over the freshman's fingertips. Alexander in coverage again.
I just love the play calling tonight by Miami. I mean, they've had more success this year throwing the ball than they have running, and they come in and they're not going to apologize for it. The previous route was run by Richards at 6'1", 190. This time they try to go by him with pure speed with Jeff Thomas, who can go by in a hurry. Maybe their most elusive and fastest receiver. Totally different look for Alexander out there on an island.
But they've driven into Rozier's head. Put those kind of balls in play. Give your receiver a chance. That's exactly what they don't want, is the overthrow on that deep shot. Here's a short pass underneath. Homer's got it, and he's got a first down and much more inside the Tech 30, so the dump down works.
Well, it's a little slip screen, and Edmonds loses Homer coming out. Watch how you'll see Edmonds right here. He just kind of gives up on it, starts going to the backfield, and a good job by Rozier just kind of getting that ball to him just in a hurry. The rest of the defense may have lost Homer after he made the catch, but he slipped away from Edmonds.
It's a throw that's thrown at the height of the lineman's numbers. That's how low that ball was through traffic. Picked up 20 yards. Dallas, nothing. They're taking downfield shots because I think they have a better chance to score from outside the red zone than they do to march it down and punch it in. I'm serious.
No, listen, they're 101st in the nation coming in at red zone scoring as far as their touchdown percentage. We talked at the break coming into tonight, their last 3 games in the red zone, 10 times in the red zone, 3 touchdowns. And already once tonight they've been in the red zone and ended up coming away with not even a field goal.
In the pocket, Rozier takes off. He's got room and slides down. He was very cautious there. Could have got a couple more yards. It's where his slide starts, and that's at the 8, so it's third down.
Yeah, he saw Virginia Tech coming in there, and there's some quarterbacks who would try to run through that and pick up the first down, and I'm sure he's been coached to do this. You got actually 2 linebackers. It's probably a good call to get down there before he takes a big hit, but now it sets up a big third down. Remember, he's got one-on-one matchups across the board at wide receiver.
Takes a look at the slot. Berrios, touchdown, Miami, and the Canes finally punch it in from close. When you need a play, you go to your most reliable guy, and that's the senior scholar, Braxton Berrios.
Talked about one-on-one matchups across the board. I pointed out Richards, but he decides to go to Berrios, who is matched up with Mook Reynolds. And Mook Reynolds lost his footing on the break. Watch this route by Berrios. Gives him a little stem to the outside, a little move to the right, foot in the ground, and Reynolds falls down for the touchdown right there.
87-yard drive as Miami breaks on top, 7-0. 8-yard touchdown for number 8, but watch the landing and the celebration here from Berrios.
And the back right foot lands on, it looks like maybe a GA in the orange. Ron Dugan's excited, his receiver coach.
Berrios went over to that injury tent. The athletic trainers looking at him, appears to be walking okay. He's a guy that's worked too hard to get to where he is right now. Finally, this season, a chance for the little guy to show what he can do. McMillan from the 2. And some space is out across the 30. This crowd loud and engaged as the Hurricanes have been by far the better team so far tonight. 2 long drives, 1 touchdown to show for it, and now a pass rush that's going to swallow up Josh Jackson for the 2nd time tonight. That was Kendrick Norton, who's been active in there, the big fella.
It's always nice to get a push from the middle. Big guy right here, 7, does a nice job working through the offensive lineman, Eric Gallo. Eventually he's able to get there. And Josh Jackson's job again. It's a 4-quarter game, playing field position, playing smart. That's the way he's been coached all week.
10 passing yards so far for Virginia Tech. They're going to hand it off on 2nd long. McMillan is thumped after a 3-yard gain. They just have not been able to create anything through the air so far.
No, and unlike what Virginia Tech has done, they've left their corners on islands, and Miami's gone after them, gotten some pass interference calls that hit some. Virginia Tech, Miami's leaving their corners on islands, and they've not yet been able to expose them.
3rd and 9 here in the club.
Ball better get out pretty quickly here.
Haynes shows some late pressure, immediate harassment of Josh Jackson from Joe Jackson. 99 problems for this Tech offense so far.
Well, they're trying to set up a screen. Miami's front gets to him. Joe Jackson, 99, closest to us, gets to him. But what I love is, again, the instincts of Shaq Quarterman. Even if he had time, 55 had sniffed that out. That play never had a chance.
I like the 2 Live Crew reference center, South Florida.
I'm with you.
Bradburn to punt. Barrios makes the fair catch at the 31, and Miami back to work. Haynes have dominated so far. Lead at 7-0. Starting field position so far from their 31. And Rozier escapes. Ran out of the tackle of Ricky Walker, and he's got about 9 on 1st down.
This is the best I've seen him taking off and being decisive when to pull out and go. And he's a much better athlete than I think people want to recognize and give him credit. There's Trevon Hill. It's like he gets blocked and it's going to come off. But look at him shake that right there. That's Ricky Walker. 300-pound guy, and then he's able to fight for more yards. We've seen him maybe 5 or 6 times take off and pick up positive yards. In fact, leading them right now in rushing. 50 yards already in this game.
Homer takes off. Homer in the clear. Travis Homer all the way home. Touchdown, Miami. We wondered when this speedy sophomore from West Palm would break loose, Kirk. 64 yards. There's the answer.
Finally gets a chance to get out in the open. You know, a lot of people talked about Mark Walton not being in and what that's done to Miami's running game. And I think Travis Homer, as a sophomore, has taken that personally. Shown a lot of durability over the last few weeks, but he's never had a chance to get out in a big game like this. Watch him be able to come here and then cut back. It's an inside zone play. It's great vision, great block. He pulls out of 1 tackle, and then the safeties aren't there to help out in run support.
Longest run Tech has allowed this season. Well, Mark Walton, not just a great running back, an alpha of this offense, a great leader. When he's out, Travis Homer has to step up. By nature, he's a quieter guy, but he's a faster guy, and you saw him use that speed from 64 yards out. McMillan slips at the 1, but is able to bring it out across the 25. Good one, Barry. You see that Miami's had 4 of those close calls so far, up by 14. Jackson, a late pitch to the perimeter, and it works to McLeese. He's got some space. A funky option, picks up 9.
Yeah, that was more of a desperation than an option. It's actually a really good job of being aware to get the ball out there. Look at that. He's focused completely. He draws the defense into him, and then Jackson eventually gets it out to the speedy McLeese and picks up some big yards.
Now a 2nd and 1 throw far side. Catch. Phillips has a first down. I like the technique in an option pitch. It was kind of over the top there by Jackson.
But it was with the right hand. It was almost like basically a throw. But it was a lateral as he was already downfield. You know, the first 2 plays, a little bit more of an aggressive feel. They got to try to get Miami's defense on their heels. Miami's been able to dictate things a little bit so far in this first half. It's a big drive down 14. They need points. They cannot afford to continue to dig themselves a hole.
Jackson backpedals and flips it downfield. Yes. The catch made with a big cushion by Savoy, who's into Miami territory.
How about the arm strength here by the young quarterback, Josh Jackson? Watch how he's falling back, but sees the separation and flips it out there. It's a great job of being able to get the ball out there to the young freshman receiver, Savoy, because he was able to beat his man. See, we want to talk about Josh Jackson all night. The receiver's got to do what Savoy just did and get some separation.
Got separation against a fellow true freshman, Trajan Bandy, the nickelback. Hokies in Miami territory for the first time tonight. Take it to Savoy. Jackson eludes traffic and dives for 9.
A gutsy call. You saw Jackson communicating up front with the offensive line, saw a look that he wanted, made the call, made the check, gets him in motion to be able to take the defense, maybe get him out of position. And there's his strength, the leg strength that he has to pull out of that tackle.
The urgency you talked about translating to Tech's first productive drive of the night. McLeese dives for another first down inside the 35.
It just felt different, didn't it, when they came out here? I think Justin Fuente probably sensed what we're all sensing, and that's you're down 14 on the road in an environment that can get pretty hostile. You need to put some drive together and get some points up on that board. Even the tempo feels different. Not been a big tempo team this year. Time he gets the call from the sideline.
Play clock at 4. Keeper. Jackson waited. Took a long time. Read it very well and moves it down to the 22.
Great call from the sideline. They got the blocks that they needed. Everybody's accounted for on the left side. Keene picks up a nice block. Wide receiver to the outside. Kuma also does a nice job into the boundary. Okay, this Josh Jackson plays with composure and toughness. You gotta love that.
He's made more plays this season than Fuente thought he would. Surpassed his coach's expectations.
Yeah, they get the call. They get the look that they want. Miami not disguising anything. They're tipping their hand, letting them know what they're in, and Virginia Tech makes their call.
And this is McLeese. He is plowed into, knocked backward after a 4-yard gain.
That's great technique by Redwine, who checked out earlier in the game with an injury, but has been out there the last few series. This is defense right here. Form tackle. Redwine puts the smaller McLeese right on his back. But picks up about 4 yards.
This time Tech snaps it before the play clock counts down. A throw downfield, tipped up in the air, almost picked, almost caught, but it's incomplete. Savoy had a chance at the 2.
Now, this would be one that he would love to have back, because if you look out into the flat, you're going to see a man wide open right out here. He's got 3 receivers going downfield, but watch the receiver off to the right here. Right here, if he makes that throw, he picks up the first down. There's nobody out there, but instead he forces the ball downfield. Maybe predetermined where he might want to go with the ball there.
You need 7 on 3rd down. Fuente might be thinking he's got 2 plays to get it. Pitch! Fumbled behind, and McLeese has to scramble for it. Way back at the 35, the Hokies retain possession, but it's a disastrous play.
It's the right call, against man, it's just poor execution. He felt rushed. Right there, he pitches it, a fast, quick pitch to the back shoulder of McLeese, who's lucky to get back on top of that football.
Now it becomes a very long 50-yard attempt from Joey Sly, who in his career from this distance is 1 for 10. He's got a monster leg. He's a great kickoff man. Has not been terribly accurate. And he is, as we said, 1 for 10 in his career. Drives it right through. You can see the leg strength. Finally, the accuracy hammered by Sly as Tech gets on the board. Wow.
51. That was good from 70. That was halfway up the net.
So both offenses start slowly and then get going. But Malik Rozier and the Hurricanes lead it 14-3 at the break as they try to get to 8-0 and silence some of their skeptics. End of the first half here in Miami. Stay tuned for the Capital One halftime report right after these messages on ABC. Very pleasant evening in South Florida under a full moon. And the hometown Hurricanes a 14-3 lead over Virginia Tech. Miami trying to stretch the nation's longest winning streak. They came in as the lowest ranked Power 5 unbeaten team. So plenty of skeptics, Kirk, but a pretty impressive start for Miami. A couple touchdowns and on defense. Couple sacks and a takeaway.
They look great. I mean, it's the kind of start that they were hoping for in this first half. If you're Virginia Tech, you're thinking, all right, we're going to get the ball to start this second half. I think they're going to be a little bit more aggressive offensively. That one of their last drives late, they were able to come out with a little bit more urgency, try to get Miami a little bit more on their heels. It was effective. I think you'll see more of that approach. And then Bud Foster's defense, they've got to be able to create some turnovers for themselves. Really have not been able to get too aggressive. We had the Alexander interception late. But I think you'll see Virginia Tech came in maybe with a little bit more of a conservative approach. I think they'll crank it up here in the second half.
The first order of business for the Hokies, Bud Foster's defense, to get Miami off the field. It was the Canes who deferred. So they'll get the football first. It's going to be a touchback if we know Sly. He just drives it like over the seats. Maria Taylor spoke to Mark Richt.
Yeah, Chris, and coming out of the locker room, what he doesn't want is that Adonis Alexander interception to get in the head of his offense. He said, we still want to take shots. That's just a guy that went out and made a great play. So there will be no change to the offensive scheme or mindset. They want to be aggressive coming out into the second half. Now, he also told his team that physicality is going to determine who wins or loses this game. So he really challenged both offensive and defensive line in the locker room.
Interesting, the Canes running game has been a problem at times this year, but the 64-yard scamper by Homer, part of 161 rushing yards in the opening half. He'll take that all day.
Interesting, Maria's saying, the Mark Richt saying he didn't want it to stick in his head, that interception. See how that affects their play calling and how they come after Virginia Tech here.
Hokies jumping around pre-snap. They fake it to Homer. And Rozier over the middle delivers to Barrios, who goes down low and makes a catch in front of Luke Reynolds.
And that was my point. When you hear a coach say that, typically you want to put the ball back in the hands of that player and say, hey, man, we believe in you. Go do your thing. You had a great first half. Don't worry about that interception. You give him that chance to get right back in the pocket and throw the football.
Third catch for Barrios, and now Homer tries to get around the edge but cannot turn the corner. Terrell Edmonds stopped him.
Tough to get wide on the Hokies. They have tremendous speed. Defensive backs get up and get involved in being able to make plays on the edge, especially these safeties, Reggie Floyd, Terrell Edmonds. Both these guys can really move around.
Richt has that philosophy in the downfield shots that we talked to him about yesterday. You add together the catches that you make deep and the defensive pass interference. He believes you can be 60-65% success rate. Over the middle, tipped, intercepted, picked off by Reggie Floyd, and the Hokies safety has some blockers still running down into the red zone, and Virginia Tech is set up after the second interception of Rozier.
This is a run-pass option by Rozier. He's looking at Edmonds, 49. So if he comes up, he's going to make a throw. What he doesn't do, here comes Edmonds coming up, he doesn't recognize the safety, Floyd, and how low he gets. He gets right into the throwing lane. It's tipped, and then Floyd is able to step in front and make the interception. So an RPO, Rozier takes the chance, ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage, and then intercepted by Floyd.
And he's a high school running back. He had a big pick six against North Carolina. He is skilled with the ball in his hands, and his return sets up Virginia Tech in the red zone.
Mutua Puaka looked like he may have gotten a hand on the ball.
McMillan, sideways cut, muscles for about 2. Hurricanes have the original chain, and it looks like they have presented a
there you go.
chain, the air chain to Reggie Floyd over there.
We just talked about the importance. How does Virginia Tech get back into the game right there? Bud Foster cranking up the pressure, getting the being able to come up with a turnover and give Josh Jackson a short field to work with. Let's see if they're able to take advantage of it.
McMillan on the delay, makes a cut, hammers down inside the 10. It'll be third down and about 1.5 yards.
That's a misdirection play, trying to a little counter play, trying to take advantage of a fast-flowing Miami defense. Gives them a chance here on third down and short.
Savoy around the edge, freshman breaks free, dives. No signal, they'll mark him short, but it's first and goal, Tech.
What a risk by Redwine to try to get upfield to make that play. He's unable to, so it gives Savoy the entire corner. Steps out of bounds. There's the progressive pylon cam. You can see he steps out of bounds there about the 3-yard line before he reaches for that pylon. But Redwine took a chance. He shot inside. The blocker kept him inside, and it gave Savoy the corner.
McMillan hammers, reaches, stop short.
Tough yards in there, huh?
Zach McLeod, the linebacker, knocked him down inches from the goal line.
It's a pretty tough running there by McMillan. 210-pounder down inside there. You're right, McLeod was right there. But he kept those legs moving. He almost got it all the way to the goal line. Quick huddle break.
Jackson sneaks it, stacked up, spinning, fighting, reaching, touchdown. And the Hokies cash in the interception, moving at just 17 yards to slice this lead.
That's become the new goal line play. Now that the running back can legally push the quarterback, it's the quarterback sneak. He gets pushed, and here comes McMillan to help push him in. The old Bush push, which was illegal back in those days with USC and Notre Dame. Now it's legal. We see everybody all over the country. Quarterback sneak, and if you get stuffed, rely on that back to push you in.
You saw Reggie Floyd, who set up the touchdown with the second pick of Rozier. And Virginia Tech right back in it, early third quarter. 10 straight points for Virginia Tech. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor here in South Florida. And the Miami lead has been cut to 4. He's cashing in the interception, a short touchdown drive. And Rozier back to work. The keeper. And he takes off. The running back Homer was lit up, but the ball was in Rozier's hands.
That's a great read. They're not blocking him. They're saying, let's just read Tim Settle. Let's not worry about trying to block the big guy. And he takes the running back, and that's a great job by Rozier of seeing that and, again, picking up great yards with his feet.
Hand it off to Homer here. Now, Rozier, you don't expect big production. He's kind of a clutch runner. He's got 65 yards tonight.
9 yards a carry. And I bet you half of his carries have been when he's pulled it down and it's improvising, not necessarily a design play. I love how they're mixing up the looks, too. Look at the different formations and how they're trying to give Bud Foster's group more to have to deal with.
Homer Second down run to the boundary, as you said earlier. Very tough to get wide in this group. Big Tremaine Edwards struck it out.
Yeah, they have great speed, and they also, much like Miami, they're going to slant towards the boundary, into the short side. A lot of times you'll see that defensive line slant that way, and that's exactly what they did. They made it tough for Homer, who's got pretty good speed, to get to that edge. Now, in fact, he may have lost a half a yard or a yard.
Canes have pretty well avoided third down tonight. They've only faced 4 of them and converted 2.
They've gone here a lot on third down.
P.J. Dallas into the game for Homer. Rozier looks in a slant, and the catch is made by Richards. Richards loses the ball, but Herndon jumps on it, and the Canes retain the possession and move the sticks.
What have they done to Alexander? They typically have tried to go by him. So instead of going by him, he does a good job with his hands and coming back right where the first down marker was. So Alexander's been taken deep all night. But on 3rd and 5, they set up a good job of getting that conversion.
And that's the captain, the tight end, Herndon, making a crucial play there. Rozier took a look downfield and now throws another pick. Greg Stroman, the 3rd of the night for the Tech defense. In the 3rd, in about the last 8 or 9 minutes of game action for Rozier.
Well, this is one of the first mistakes we've seen Rozier make. He wants to go to Richards again, but the safety comes over and takes it away, and then he eventually looks back. Watch the eyes of the quarterback look right, and then it's not there, comes back, throws late because he looked right and came back, and that's the quickness and the vision there as Stroman jumped the route.
4 picks in 7 games for Rozier, 3 tonight. Virginia Tech from the 45 after the 3rd interception. Now McMillan makes a cut and a move, and he's down inside the 40. And the takeaways have sparked this team in a real huge shift in momentum.
Left side of the offensive line creates a nice seal right there. Big time block by Chris Cunningham, who is vocal this week out of Jacksonville, saying the Canes didn't recruit him, how fired up he was to play in this game. Nice block there to spring McMillan loose.
7 Floridians on this Hokie roster. None really from South Florida, though. Jackson keeps it. It's a race to the edge, and he will be knocked down after a 4-yard gain.
But if Cam Phillips could have sustained his block on Malik Young, he had enough speed that time. He ran away from Trent Harris. Trent Harris 33 on the edge. That's his read key. He comes down enough. He thinks he can get outside of him, and he actually does. But the corner 12, Malik Young, comes off of the block by Cam Phillips. Otherwise, that's easily a first down.
On 2nd and 6, Jackson from the pocket had time, now runs out of it and just throws it in the ground. Manny Diaz loves to track how many times they hit the opposing quarterback. Against Eric Dungy of Syracuse, is a tough guy, hit him 26 times. They hit the North Carolina quarterbacks 30 times. They're not at that pace yet tonight. Jackson's been more elusive.
Elusive and smart. That's a play that no one will ever talk about. But it's 2nd down, and gets away from the pressure of McIntosh, and eventually just throws the ball away to give himself a chance here on 3rd down and medium, instead of forcing the ball or taking a sack.
Hokies were 1 of 6 on 3rd down in the first half. They converted their only attempt so far here in the second half. And this is McLeese. They call a straight ahead run. Don't get it, but I think on 4th down they're going to go for it here from the 32. Offense is out there.
Absolutely.
Talked about the increase in attempted 4th downs in college football, and I think that this championship analytics, it's this book that Justin Fuentes says he's got for every situation in the game, given the opponent, every down and distance, every score condition. The book says you should go for it more on 4th down than most coaches traditionally have. They need 2.
Jet sweep motion.
And a misfired exchange as Savoy on that jet sweep hit the snap. And the 4th down fails. That was not in the book that he had up at the press box. That was not what they expected. The computer didn't spit that out.
No, not at all. It's just a miscue on the snap. The timing of it. We see this from time to time with these jet sweeps. That's on the quarterback to try to time that up. Just hits the boy. No chance to execute.
And they don't cash in this takeaway. Miami back from their 40. Miami royalty here tonight. Jennifer Lopez has been waving a pom-pom. She's into it. Alex Rodriguez rocking the chain there. Doing it from a suite.
The chain going. He's a big-time Hurricane supporter and fan.
You're up down here, of course. And the Canes, after that 4th down stop, the misfire on that gamble by Fuente, you think is going to be perhaps crucial as the second half unfolds.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I think that this is an offense that is going to try to, at some point they're going to start to get back on track. I think it's a missed opportunity. I think it's going to be a series and a drive that we're going to look back at and say what could have been maybe for Virginia Tech.
Homer is wrestled down in the backfield. Quick penetration by Trayvon Hill. Tim settled there to clean it up as they slam him to the ground.
Reggie Floyd destroyed Malik Rozier. Carrying out his fake.
There's a flag down.
I'd love to get Dave Katayan on this one.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Let's show what you talked about, Kirk, and bring in Dave Katayan here.
Dave, he's carrying out a fake, right?
Well, let's take a look at what he does. Now, he stops right there. That hit, to me, is unnecessary. He knows the guy doesn't have the ball. Now, he's carrying it, but he stopped faking right now. And he just drives his shoulder in there. It's an unnecessary hit, I believe.
Okay, so you don't think he was carrying out his fake?
I think the fake, it's close, okay? But I can support the call because he knew the ball was close.
But if he's carrying out his fake, theoretically, are you allowed to hit him like that?
Absolutely. A runner, a pretended runner, any fake, yes.
So Floyd, who had the pick earlier with the 15-yard penalty, Rozier's okay. You saw Travis Homer on the sidelines because he was tackled hard. He did have the football, but a mistake moves it to the Hokies 43. Empty backfield. Here comes the pressure. Rozier steps up and delivers high, and the catch is made by Herndon, who's still rumbling. Herndon all the way for a touchdown. A-Rod and J-Lo love it. 43 yards as the Canes strike back after the 4th down stop.
Told you, he just felt like missed opportunity for Virginia Tech. And Miami comes right back after the personal foul. And how about Herndon? Seems like all he does is make big plays for this Miami offense.
They thought they had him penned into the 250-pounder who had recovered a fumble, remember. He avoided a turnover a little while ago. His 4th touchdown reception, and Badgley makes the lead 11.
I think Ron Dugans, the wide receiver coach, needs to give a clinic on wide receiver blocking downfield. Richards again with a big block that ends up getting him to the end zone right there.
Well, after 3 interceptions, Rozier finds the end zone again to Herndon. That was a terrific team effort by the Miami offense, and a good call on a 5-receiver empty backfield set with the flexed tight end, Kirk.
And all of a sudden, this stadium comes back alive after the Canes get back up on the board.
61 yards in 3 plays, less than a minute after that misfire by Tech on the attempted 4th down play. Badgley boots it to the end zone, and McMillan will leave it there. Now the punt return sets Tech up at the 40. Now Jackson, a 1st down throw to Phillips, who makes the catch into Miami territory at the 42.
He got inside that time of Malik Young. We've been waiting for Cam Phillips. He's made a play earlier, this time right there, a nice stem. Gives him a little head and a little shoulder to the outside. Gives him enough room to work back in. Perfect timing that time. You see, he got rid of the ball just in time, and all hands by Cam Phillips.
Got 19 yards in his 4th catch tonight. And now here is McMillan twisting for 3. Back and forth. You know, that That Miami defense made a big play, aided by the misfire. But then Bud Foster's defense rose up and got the 3rd and 2 stop. And now the Hokies taking a crack at cutting into this lead. Cat and mouse game pre-snap continues. This time Savoy takes the handoff and is dragged down at the 35. It'll be 3rd and about 4.
That cat and mouse game you're talking about is when they're going tempo. Their version, Virginia Tech, of tempo, because of some of the youth that they have on offense, isn't breakneck speed, turbo. It's more of tempo, look over. Miami's not disguising their coverage, so Virginia Tech's getting a very good.
Be waiting to make adjustments later?
Yeah, I think you can do that. I think that Manny Diaz trusts his guys to be in position, but it's giving Virginia Tech a pretty good peek at what they're going to be in.
Jackson's got to reach over and tie his shoe before this 3rd down play. Diaz signaling his guys.
How about the defense? And since he's come in here with Mark Richt, the year before he got here, they were giving him 28 points a game. Now, last year 18, and this year 18.
McMillan will not get 1st down yardage. Battle just to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down. Trent Harris, one of those reserve defensive ends who rotates in, made the tackle. Offense on the field still.
A defensive line on 3rd down won that battle. McIntosh and Thomas. Here we go.
Spot in the field now, Kirk. Another 4th down try. Hokies need 3. Jackson chased, harassed, heaves it, intercepted by Jaquan Johnson. Over the head of the receiver and into the safety's hands. The chain will come out for the 2nd time tonight. It's the 1st pick of Jackson. And McIntosh, who had recovered the fumble, provided the pressure.
Yeah, there's the chain. There's the chain. And the leader has made a lot of plays tonight. He created a fumble earlier that McIntosh came up with. This time McIntosh chases Jackson out. He's trying to go way backside to Cam Phillips, who was open. Just a misfire. And how about the catch by Johnson? The athletic ability to bring that in. Manny Diaz said he's the heart and soul of our defense. And again, Justin Fuente knows they missed out on another opportunity.
McIntosh-Johnson turnover combos worked twice in different ways tonight. Rozier keeps it. He is hammered hard there. Tremaine Edmonds made him pay for that yard. You're right. That was an incredibly athletic, acrobatic, one-arm stab for this captain of this defense.
Those coaches have been challenging that secondary sometimes, and where it breaks, we've been watching, and that time he delivered.
So we've seen the chain twice tonight, and after that takeaway, the Hurricanes will head to the final quarter up 11, trying for a 13th consecutive victory. End of 3 here in Miami. Back for the 4th quarter after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Boy, did they do a great job with this stadium.
You got a full moon over Miami. You got Hard Rock Stadium, which seats now 65,000. It's one of the prettier facilities any college football team can call home, that's for sure. 2nd and 9 as we begin the 4th quarter. And Rozier, a downfield shot. Richards running free, makes the catch inside the 15 as he falls down. They beat Alexander.
It has been a long night for Adonis Alexander.
He's grabbing his left leg after the play.
Yeah, this is one-on-one, and Richards, who's been blocking great, instead of going by him, he works to the post, gets separation. You can see him grab onto the hammy as he's running there, but he was already beaten by then. What I want you to see is watch Herndon on the inside, Chris. You'll see him work to the middle and occupy the safety. Reggie Floyd. Watch him get into the middle, takes Floyd away, and that opens up the middle of the field for him to go over the top.
But the call, Kirk, they begin the fourth quarter with a shock play, and now the Hokies backed up and on the ropes if they can't keep Miami out of the end zone here. But Miami continues to be an adventure in the red zone. Set up first down at the 13. DJ Dallas in the game. Rozier steps up, escapes, and runs into the end zone, standing up. That's one way to solve your red zone woes, is let number 12 motor to the end zone. Nobody laid a hand on him.
Seen him all night get back and take off. And this time, it almost had a little bit of a feel of a design with the way his center,
Tyler Gauthier,
the way he responded, kind of led him downfield. Watch the center here. Drops back to throw. Middle of the defense opens up. He gets downfield to make a nice block, but the entire defense had cleared out.
And Rozier went and looked for him right away, didn't he?
Yeah.
28-10 Miami. And Miami, if they can hold this lead, will expect to move up from number 10. They were the lowest ranked Power 5 unbeaten. They were ranked behind 6 teams that had a loss, but what happened earlier today, Ohio State losing, Penn State losing, and Miami can take care of business in the last 14 and a half minutes, Kirk. They will jump into the mix here. Jackson from the pocket. Ball comes out, scooped up, and the Canes have their third takeaway tonight.
Jonathan Garvin got in from behind and came off the edge to the left. Talked about Parker Osterloh, who's in here, left tackle. He just gets beat off the edge around the corner. Long defensive end. They rotate so many bodies. Manny Diaz said when he was a young coach, he watched Mickey Andrews at Florida State do that, and he just believes in it and keep them fresh for 4 quarters. And what a play by Garvin.
He's a third-team defensive end, by the way. You look at that guy physically, and he's going to be the 15th different guy to have the turnover chain in the third tonight. 2 fumble recoveries and an interception. Up to 19 takeaways this season.
How good a looking of a freshman is he?
They could find his defensive ends down here, can't they? Homer, a short gain. I mean, here's a guy that is obviously learning the craft as they tend to Jackson over there. He got chopped in the forced fumble, and they're looking at his hand, his right hand.
That's when he was able to get to Jackson, it brought that club down right as Jackson was just about to release the ball, and I think he may, when he came through with his right hand, I think Garvin may have hit Jackson on the hand himself. That's what freed the ball.
Another look here.
See right there. And
yeah, you're exactly right.
Super slow-mo, but if you see that in real time, I mean, he came down hard on that right hand.
It's a big man with a karate chop forcing the fumble, and now Miami trying to punctuate this performance with another score. Instead, it's a loss and a 3rd and long now coming up. If Tech can make a stop here, they do keep hope alive as Garvin enjoys that heavy chain. You didn't realize that was the real chain they presented.
I had no idea.
We didn't bring you some little knockoff facsimile from the pawn shop. That's the real thing.
And it is heavy.
So
really heavy.
You were the first of 4 dudes to have that chain around your neck tonight. And Rozier is pressured and sacked. So it's going to be 4th and real long as Ricky Walker gets him, and the Tech defense does rise up and prevent further damage.
That's all about pride right there with Virginia Tech's defense. Big guys in the middle, Walker and Settle. 2 great defense. See him limping. It's been a physical game in the trenches. It's a good effort there to be able to the game potentially out of reach. Virginia Tech defense not letting up.
No, they're not. They moved Miami back 10 yards in that series. Sure does. Eagles this time was under a bit of pressure and just boots it away. Did not do the job there. Knocks it into the end zone for a touchback. 5:34 to play. There's a high throw. Phillips makes the catch. They continue to work underneath, but there has to be a lot of urgency. They need 3 scores here in 4 minutes. Not a lot of downfield shots, Kirk, that have been successfully completed tonight.
Yeah, Miami's the scheme that they're playing. They're taking away the deeper throws, trying to make Jackson throw underneath. And remember, when you run out of bounds in college football until the 2-minute mark, once they set the play clock, the game clock also starts.
Tech again methodical at the line. Jackson delivers underneath. The catch is made by Chris Cunningham. The clock again will stop briefly as they move the sticks.
And Miami will give up those when you're up by 18 with 3:17 to go. You'll give up those 7, 8, 10-yard catches all day. Just keep the ball in front of you. Don't let anything get behind you if you're Miami. Playing with 2 deep safeties, trying to take away the vertical shot.
Jackson will take off. Gets a nice block from McMillan in the hole, and then is hammered down a yard short of the first down.
He is a tough freshman quarterback. If you're being recruited by Virginia Tech and you play a skill position, you got a chance to play with a guy like this. You might want to take advantage of that opportunity. This kid's got a great future, and so does this Virginia Tech offense.
He's still adjusting his helmet as he waits for the snap. He prides himself on toughness. He played for a 1-11 high school team and was sacked about 1,000 times in that season. So he learned early on that to be a quarterback, you got to be resilient. You got to keep getting up.
Well, I think also his dad, Fred Jackson, who coached in Ann Arbor at Michigan for over 20 years. He reminds me, I mean, you think about a coach's son. He has all the intangibles that you're looking for. I mean, here he is down by 18, never say die, 2 minutes to go. He's taking big hits from Pinckney and Quarterman, the linebackers, and getting back up ready for the next play.
He wears number 17 to honor his dad, Fred Jackson, who was an all-SWAC quarterback at Jackson State. Approaching the final 2 minutes, and the Canes crowd, most of them hung around to enjoy what they hope is going to be a party. Clock still running. We get it to McLeese in the flat. He races for the sidelines. He'll get just a yard. Mike Smith, back up Mike linebacker, made the play.
Again, they're rotating bodies, staying fresh. It's not just because they're up by 18. We've talked a lot about that in this second half. The reason it's so important is, especially down here in the heat, humidity, you're able to rotate guys in. It keeps them hungry and excited in practice and in games, and it keeps them fresh for the whole 60 minutes. Jackson
again takes off and escapes briefly, and now is going to be wrestled out for a short loss here. It'll be 3rd down and long. Miami's defense, if you told Manny Diaz, Mark Brick, that you're going to hold the Hokies so far to 10 points, under 300 yards, I think that would exceed their expectations.
If you would have told them that before the game, they'd say we're going to win the game.
And he's brought down. Jackson sacked again as Joe Jackson stepping out and knocking the quarterback down. It'll be 4th and a mile.
Well, both the defensive ends. There's a race to the quarterback. On the right, Trent Harris, he gets there. And on the left, Joe Jackson, who they say is probably their best pure pass rusher.
That's a tough contest. There's a lot of good pure pass rushers on this roster. Right. 4th and 17 to keep the flicker hope. And the Canes just think, let's get one more chain tonight. Jackson harassed, heaves it, caught. Phillips Going to have to make 4 guys miss and is knocked down. Now a flag comes in where the tackle is made.
He may got a face mask there.
He cannot believe they've given him new life with a face mask penalty.
Yeah, he did. Malik Young.
Wow. A chance to just finish it right there.
Yeah, all he had to do is push him out of bounds.
Face mask. Defense. Number 12. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic.
He was slipping. He had no chance to get near.
No. I admire Phillips for such effort to try to keep the play alive, but clearly Malik Young grabbed the face mask. He was 10 yards short of the first down. He was falling down. Just a mental error there by Young.
Final 30 seconds. Hokies trying to find the end zone. Instead, it's a 4th takeaway. Chevrolet Redwine. Still got it. Got blockers. And will finally be brought down from behind at the 46 with 8 seconds to play. Give him the chain. Two picks, 2 fumble recoveries. And the MO of UM continues tonight on defense.
Hit the chain out. I think one of the funniest things I think I saw, they're up 28-10. Redwine comes up with the interception, and the true freshman, Amari Carter, oh, he's got a message. Ball game.
It was ball game a while ago, but that feels pretty good to have that pick. And the Canes make a strong statement. Comprehensive, dominant. They extend the longest winning streak in the FBS to 13. Notre Dame, the last team to beat him, it was a heartbreaking loss. They had the lead, the Irish marched down, and now you'll get the rematch of that one right here next Saturday night on ABC. Rozier recovered from 3 interceptions to play a strong last quarter and a half.
I thought he played really, really well. You know, his numbers, the completion percentage, it's under 50%. But I just thought overall he was in better command as Mark Rick with his wife.
That's
happy.
Yeah. She works the sidelines each and every game. Hurricanes make a strong statement and take a step closer to their first ever ACC Coastal title, 28-10 over Virginia Tech. It was a hyped up night. It was a night in which the Hurricanes turnover chain was brought out 4 times. And Rozier in the offense, a resilient performance. Tonight's game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. We thank our entire crew and all the folks who help us in the booth. We'll see you right back here, the Fighting Irish and the Hurricanes, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ABC next Saturday. A Sábado Gigante, as they said down here in Miami. See you then.